الله أكبر الله أكبر.
name of Allah, merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer. All praise are due to Allah, the Lord, the sustainer and cherisher of the worlds. Most gracious, most merciful. Master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship in thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way upon whom thou hast restored thy grace, whose portion is not wrath and go not astray. Also, we would like for the national anthem, the black national anthem, to be played. Stand, please. Every voice.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let it with us march on till victory is won.
We would like to welcome you to the 1996 Imani Awards presentation. Your host this evening is the Greater Detroit Islamic Alliance and New Detroit Incorporated, who have collaborated to bring a night of excellent entertainment, and we hope that you'll enjoy it so much. So we would like for you to relax and enjoy yourself. Talked about, but they still had faith in their goals. So what I would like to do now is turn the program over to Ms. Emma Bell. She's Director of Community Affairs for Wayne County Youth.
Good evening. Thank you, brothers and sisters. What I would like to do is just say that I'm honored that I'm able to stand here before you this evening, especially being a woman and dealing with my dear friend, Mr. Thaddeus Sakura. I love him to death. But when he asked me tonight, because Mason didn't show up because Mason paged me and said that something had happened and he wouldn't be able to get here, I was really honored that he would ask me to do it. So I want to thank Mrs. Sakura, because I know you told him to do that, didn't you? Mason is not here. I can't talk as much stuff as he do, but I was just told by one of the people, one of my NAACP board members, that they had something else to do, so I better hurry up. So I'm not going to even try and deal like Mason this evening, okay? I'm just going to be Emma Bell, and I'm a little shy, but I'm truly honored to be here. What we're going to do is our first awardee. First of all, I want to introduce Gwen and Chuck Scales. I know they don't need any introduction, but don't you think they were wonderful? And the other thing I would like to do just before I start the program is introduce my sister, because you know I have a lot of sisters and brothers, but my real blood sister is here tonight, and her name is Bunch. Bunch, would you stand up? That's my true sister, everybody. Now, Sheila Cockrell is such a great lady that the person that is going to talk about her, I mean, it's in the program, but tonight we have a wonderful brother who is also one of our NAACP board members. He is going to be the person that will introduce our councilwoman, the Honorable Sheila Cockrell, Brother Imani. Thank you. Give him a great big hand.
In the name of God, the gracious and passionate. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Some tasks that you're asked to do are considered a chore, but also some tasks that you're asked to do are considered a joy. And I consider this task I was asked to do tonight a big joy, and that is the introduction of our councilwoman, Sheila Cockrell. I've known her for a number of years and watched her work in the community, and I've grown very fond of her over the years. I'm fond of her as a person, and I respect her views, and her work in the community. There is a biography of her here, and I'm going to just pick out some things to alert you to about this magnificent lady. Sheila Cockrell has been a committed and energetic political force in the city of Detroit for over 25 years. The eldest of 6 children, she was born and raised in Corktown. Her parents, Lou and Justine Murphy, led the Catholic worker movement and devoted themselves to serving the most needy people in our community. While raising their young family, Cockrell's parents ran a soup kitchen for hungry Detroiters from their small frame home and opened their door to homeless women and children. She was raised in an environment that made social activism a priority, and she became an impassioned voice for social change at an early age. A quote of hers: "The challenge will be to create a Detroit that is shared by its residents, its businesses, and corporate and political leaders. We have faced a changing economic climate which has affected all of us. It's time to set positive goals for the city and move forward together." As a member of the Labor Defense Coalition, led by Detroit attorney, activist, and leader Ken Cockrell, she and many others battled the city's deployment of the Stress Undercover Decoy Unit, which was responsible for the deaths of 20 people. In 1978, she married Ken, and together they shared a vision for social change and followed a politically active path. When Ken decided to run for the Detroit City Council in 1977, Sheila organized his successful campaign, and during his term, she served as manager and administrator of his office. Ken died in 1989. In 1987, she joined the Michigan Modernization Service, a Department of Commerce-sponsored organization which assessed manufacturing technologies at small and medium-sized firms in Michigan. In this capacity, she was a contract and grant administrator, managing a budget of $2 million. She was also co-managing editor of Modern Michigan, a 20-page magazine which promoted the organization's mission. In the recent past, Sheila was appointed to the post of Special Area Maintenance Assistant for the Detroit Building Authority, and she is now serving the 3rd year of her first term on the Detroit City Council. And backing up is a very important part that I missed that I do want to alert us to as well. Cockrell's life as an activist began in earnest in the late 60s when, as a Wayne State University student, she became involved with the West Central organization. This was a grassroots group developed housing, urban renewal, healthcare, and university expansion programs. Then in 1968, alarmed by an increase in cases of police brutality, she founded the Ad Hoc Action Group, a citywide organization which monitored the activities of the police department following the 1967 rebellion. And also in 1968, Cockrell received the Mademoiselle Award, honoring 26 young women who've carved niches for themselves, often behind the headlines, beyond traditional areas. They're beyond bagging, like their generation. She was nominated by the noted anthropologist, the late Dr. Margaret Mead. You know, it can go on and on reading, and I'm sure that this short page does not do justice to all of the accomplishments of our sister Sheila Cockrell, and many of us know her, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to some and present to the rest of you our noted councilwoman, Sheila Cockrell.
Thank you very much for this award. I'd like to introduce to you my daughter. This is Imani Cockrell. She's 10 years old and she goes to school here in the city of Detroit. And she is very much a representative of the kind of commitment that I am particularly appreciative of this award because for me these are the affirmations that what I'm doing is in the interest of the people of our city. What I'm doing on the city council and what I'm doing on various political issues out here is in fact a representative of the values and the expectations that you have for political leadership. So it is really an honor for me to receive this award. And I want you to know that I will be there, that I do not back down from what I believe in. I do not expect to be agreed with 100% of the time, but I want to hear from you on what you think I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. This afternoon, I was involved way back to my roots in the Catholic worker movement in a demonstration at the Detroit newspaper agency downtown, and there were 44 women, and we engaged in acts of civil disobedience. We sat down and we waited for the Detroit Police Department to move us, and I did that understanding there's lots of different issues that are at stake in this situation. But the point that I think that's important to me is that as a political leader, I'm elected to take positions, and even when they're controversial, to take them on the basis of principle. And I believe that unions are the absolute safeguard for working people and poor people in this country. And if unions in this city can be driven out by some corporations that don't give a hoot about any of us here, those who've gone back and those who haven't, who have stayed out, because of their desire for profit, we are going to go. We have to stand up. So I did today. It was a great action. There were 44 of us. There's going to be actions every week, and I would invite you to join us and tell the DNA, negotiate a contract and put people back to work who have the right to those jobs. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present the Imani Award to Sheila M. Cockrell. And the Imani Award reads, "But those who have faith and work righteousness, they are the companions of the garden. Therein shall they abide forever." And this is from the Holy Quran. The Imani Award.
I guess I spoke too soon.
So, do everybody know who Thaddeus Shakur is? Thaddeus, would you just kind of come on up over here? That's Thaddeus, everybody. Give him a great big hand. This is the gentleman that started this. This is the third year that they've been doing this. He started this, and the first year they honored Adam Shakur, and that's how I got involved, because Adam Shakur came and asked that I help, and I did, and then the next year they asked, but that first year was something else. It was really huge, and I know we're going to get back like that, but Adam Shakur was our first awardee, and he's over here. Adam Shakur, Judge, would you stand up? Because once a judge, always a judge.
Thank you. I'm really happy to see such a large crowd, and I hope you enjoy yourself. So I'm going to turn this back over to my friend, Emma Bell. She's doing such a lovely job tonight. Thank you.
We have some special people in the house that we should have to stand. We have Judge Izetta Bright. Would you please stand, Judge Bright? We have our superintendent of Detroit Public Schools. You know, I just did their wedding, okay? Dr. David Sneed over there. With his handsome self. Isn't he handsome? You don't have to remember all that weight he had lost? Sharon is cooking, look at him. Then we have our deputy superintendent in the house, who used to be my boss, Dr. Arthur Carter. Would you please stand? And then we have Mr. Kevin Fobbs from the Republican Party, and we don't hold that against you. Stand up, Kevin. Attorney Kevin Fobbs. Y'all can do better than that. It's not John England. And then we have some great people here from Spencer Abraham's office, and they didn't put the name down, so, but I want you to stand. Same person. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's Kevin Fobbs from Spencer Abraham office. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next person would have been Joel Ferguson, but Joel Ferguson was called out of town, but he did send a nice check, so you all give him a great big hand, and when you see him, you tell him he had a great award. Our next person is my real special friend. She might need a little help getting up here because I think she's pregnant. Don't you all tell her I said that, though, okay? Miss Sharon McPhail. Dr. Steve, would you come up here and talk about that, please? Now, you know that's going to be on the news tomorrow. It was a joke. It was a joke, okay? I'm trying to be funny. It was a joke. Dr. David Steve, come up. I don't know who had the heart attack, Sharon or Dr. Steve.
The truth is, it might be true. Well, I was asked just a couple of minutes ago if I would mind introducing my wife, and of course, you know, when it comes to introducing my wife, I would say yes. But I'm sitting there thinking about, okay, well, what am I going to say that you guys don't already know about her? And I do have some things I can share with you. There are two sides to Sharon McPhail, but first, before I talk about my lovely wife, let me say thank you to everyone who had something to do with putting on this magnificent banquet this evening and for naming my wife and all the other honorees. I appreciate it very much for all that you do. I want the brother of Malcolm X, who I understand is here. I want you to stand up and see if you don't see another Malcolm X over here. Red, we call him. Thank you. Here's your other brother. Art Carter, you want to stand up? Doesn't he look like Malcolm? We tease him in the Detroit Public Schools. Thank you, sir. We tease him in the Detroit Public Schools. We say we have our Malcolm X. We affectionately call him Red. In fact, they should have had him make the movie. It's nice to be here in friendly territory, as Art said when I sat down. He said, you don't have to worry about tonight. We're in friendly territory tonight. Sometimes territory you wonder. But Sharon is the epitome, as far as I'm concerned, being a strong woman, but also a woman who has a sensitive side. A woman who is not only dedicated to her profession, and dedicated to doing the best job that she can do in her profession as an attorney, but also a person who's dedicated to helping human beings. She's the only person that I know that drives down the street and says, "Stop!" And I'm wondering, "Oh, we're getting ready to have an accident or something." She roll down and wonder, "What?" And every homeless person up and down 8 miles, she's got to stop and give them some money. You know, the other day there was a homeless person outside of her office, and she was walking in and she saw the lady, and she reached in her purse and didn't have anything but a $50 bill, so she gave her the $50 bill. You know, so we got a separate budget now for in our check. But that's the other side of Sharon McPhail. Most of you know her as a tough as nails person, a person who is a strong fighter. I tell you, if you ever want to get in a fight with somebody, you better have her on your side. I've had a few fights with her. It's tough. She is tough. She will not back down. I don't care what the issue is, and is extremely intelligent. Don't try to argue with her. Woo! She's got the whole vocabulary and is not afraid to use it. If you need a litigator, somebody to go into court for you, I've heard about situations where when she walked into the courtroom, they decided to settle just by having her walk in. But the other side is an extremely sensitive side. You can tell by my household. Every night I come home, there's a whole house full of people, and they're all in the refrigerator. You think it was a convention there every night. I wake up and there's people coming, and go to sleep and there's people still there. And she just feeds the whole neighborhood, all the kids. She's got a ton of friends. It doesn't matter who needs what. When they call her, she's there for them. If they're having a problem, a medical problem, she's there at the hospital. Or if they're having any other kind of problem, she's trying to figure out a way to assist them. And that's the other side of Sharon McPhail. There's a lot in here about her accomplishments and all that she's done. Reading it, I've even discovered some things I didn't know, and we've been married almost a year. But in terms of just being a decent human being, it's going to be difficult to find an individual who cares more about others than my wife, Sharon McPhail. And I think that's what brought us together, because when we first saw one another, the first time we met, I was on the other side in the other camp. Dennis happens to be a fraternity brother of mine, and so I was invited to a debate between the two of them, and I had my questions already to ask, and of course he knew what I was going to ask, and he knew all the answers. But the moderator asked Sharon to answer the questions also. I'd be damned if she didn't answer the questions better. And she didn't know what the questions were going to be ahead of time. So that impressed me right away. And eventually we met. And what else impressed me was that when she met me, she said, I want to come in and talk to you about a volunteer program. She didn't come up to me like a whole lot of folks come up to me and say, I want this job, or I got this proposal I want to present to you. I want some business, I want this, I want that. No, she came to me and said, I want to meet with you to talk to you about a volunteer program to help young ladies in your school system. And that was impressive. The other thing that impressed me was that when a friend of mine did try to put us together on a more social kind of basis, because they knew that we were both single, she said, okay, I'd like to meet him. But when she called my office, my secretaries all you know, because so many people call every day, they say, well, would you put it in writing? What is your point? You know, what is it you want to talk about? She said, you tell them to go to hell. She was tough enough to say that. I said, well, I got to meet this lady. but she's raised her daughters well, mostly as a single parent. She got through the University of Michigan successfully, and she's out in California right now trying to be discovered as an actress and writer. But she did graduate from U of M, and she insisted that she graduate in 4 years, and insisted that she come out of there as an honor student, even though she didn't want to come out of there in 4 years, nor did she want to be an honor student. But she made that happen. Erica, her youngest daughter, our youngest daughter, is now graduating from high school this year and is going on to college. And she's accepted my daughter as her daughter and my sons as her sons. And so now we had to buy another house so we could house all of them when they all end up being there at the same time. Let me tell you something else about Sharon. When I first went by her house to visit, first time I went to visit, she introduced me to another young lady in her 30s maybe, who was living with her. And I found out later the reason why the young lady was living with Sharon is because at one time in this young lady's life, she was homeless, had been put out of her family's home without a job, and it was into some substance abuse. So she brought the young lady, she happened to like it, just took a liking to her. She brought the young lady into her home, helped her to get straightened out, helped her to get a job. Now she's a very successful individual doing God's work, helping human beings. She's in the social service business herself, and that's the other side of Sharon McPhail. And I can tell you 100 other different stories about how she goes out of her way to help kids and to help people she doesn't even know. She's just a very, very loving person. So now, without saying anything else, I'd like to bring forth the love of my life, the person that keeps me on my toes and teaches me how to debate. Attorney Sharon McPhail Sneed. I'm going to present the award to you. Wow.
They said, let us say something, Doc.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm particularly appreciative of the Imani Award because I do believe that in this life sometimes you just have to step out on faith. I remember not very long ago stepping out on faith to do things that I thought were God's work. And while it didn't exactly turn out the way that I wanted it to that time, we all never know what God has in store for us. And we also have to have faith that we did the right thing and for the right reasons. Sometimes you're put someplace and you don't know why you're there. And things happen that you wish had happened another way. But there's a reason for you being there. There's a reason for the issues that you raise and the things that you make happen just by your presence. And that's in all of our lives. I think that stepping out on faith was a very good thing to do in that case. And I'm going to be here, as my husband just told you, saying exactly what I think and what I feel about everything all the time on behalf of all of you who maybe don't have the ability to have a voice. Somebody's got to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. And every time I get an opportunity to do that, I'm going to do it. I also had a little faith in as a single parent, and I was a single parent for 13 years, and then I eventually ran into David. And you see, I could say a whole lot of things about him right now, especially after all that stuff he just said about me. But that business about the, it's not true. I do want to leave you understanding that it's not true. And because of some of this very interesting conversation tonight, you can be sure it won't be true. But to my brothers and sisters, and to all of you here who chose to spend your time here with us tonight instead of doing the million other things you could be doing. God bless you, and thank you very much.
Oh boy. Our next person is someone that I have known for, I guess, about 15 years. I love him so dearly. And his wife tonight, when I walked in, asked me, how is Kofi? Kofi is my son, and I think Kofi is about 24 now. Sometimes you put the age back because I don't want to be as old as I am, but he is 24. But Mrs. Shapiro tonight, when I saw her, she asked me about my son Kofi and talked about how great he is, and I think so too. But our next person is Nate Shapiro and Dr. Arthur Carter, who is the Deputy Superintendent for Detroit Public Schools and an ex-county commissioner who used to pull the whip out, the chairman of the board. Let's hear it for Art Carter. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. You know, I used to work for you. You're the one with the whip. But it is certainly a pleasure for me to be here to see so many friends, high school friends, people I encountered in college, people that I work with, and certainly my good friend Wilfred Little, family that I have the utmost respect for, and certainly a very fine gentleman in his own right, a very strong individual, a person who's made very many fine contributions to our city here. It is really an honor for me to present the next awardee. Mr. Nate Shapiro is someone who is known throughout this entire community. I consider him a real prince of this city. He is a giving person, a person who has really moved out of his way to help so many people here in the city of Detroit. And I could certainly talk to you about the fact that he is president of his consulting engineering firm. I could talk to you about all of the awards he has received and the various commissions that he has served on. I can talk to you about the fact that he was a very good friend and still is of the Honorable Coleman Alexander Young, one of his closest advisors. I could talk to you about all of the political campaigns and the political wars that he has been engaged in. But I could also talk to you about the fact that he has been a loving husband for many years, a loving father who is now inspiring one of his sons, I believe, to take over the family business, and who has been right there with his father. He is the father of 4 children. I could tell you all of those things, but they would not capture the essence of Nate Shapiro. But the thing that really impresses me most about Nate Shapiro is the fact is that over the last 20 years, he has helped more than 100 Detroit public school students. He has provided scholarships and books and all kinds of assistance to aspiring young engineers. And I don't know where all of these young people are today, but they are throughout the city of Detroit and indeed throughout the entire country. And I suppose it is in that spirit that Nate has been that quiet, still voice, always there when you call upon him to contribute. I understand that even tonight he was a firm contributor to this affair. I believe he purchased some 3 tables here tonight. But that has been true of his history throughout his time here in the city of Detroit. He was born here, he's a native, attended the Detroit public schools, and if I'm not mistaken, Nate, we went to the same elementary school, different times, but but we were there down in I believe you attended Capron at one time. You didn't attend, but I think some friends of yours attended the Capron Elementary School. And sometimes you really have to get him to tell you the story, I believe, of how his father arrived here in the city of Detroit, along with a younger brother. Now that is a fantastic story that should really be turned into a movie. I don't really have the time to tell you about that fantastic story, the story of how his father arrived in this country with a brother. But I just want to say to Nate in this public place, I want to thank him for all of the contributions he has made to our school system, to the city of Detroit, to our county, and to our state. We are indeed indebted to you for all the fine works that you have done over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a true prince of the city of Detroit, Mr. Nate Shapiro. Certainly gives me pleasure to present this Imani Award, the third annual awards presentation given by the Greater Detroit Islamic Alliance and New Detroit Incorporated, Western Hotel, March 14th, 1996.
Thanks, Art. First of all, I really appreciate getting this award from Art Carter. He and I have been friends for, I think, since he first became a commissioner in the county. And we worked together on a lot of good projects. The other thing is that if you said about me being a quiet, unassuming person, something like that, ask my wife about that. She won't agree with you. But I really appreciate getting this award. And my feelings are that the success of this city is dependent upon the success of our young people. And the most important thing we can do is to help the young people. I go on career days, I go to a lot of schools and talk to them. And you know, the kids growing up now are a lot smarter than they were when I went to school. And one of the schools I go to is they ask you questions that an adult can't answer, but they know the answers themselves. They try to find out how you're going. But anyway, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate this award, and I'll treasure it very much.
About 50 years. So I want you all to give him a great big hand. His name is Eugene Dick Gilmore. He used to be the personnel director. Our next awardee is a great friend. We just took over her office for about a year at one time out of our lives. And her name is Elham Shao Oda. And her daughter, Netta, is going to present her. Thank you.
It would really take me a very long time to properly describe what my mother has meant to the lives of my brothers and her friends and other people. But as my mother always says, her most important role in life is that of a mother. Words cannot begin to describe the joy which she has brought to me and my brothers. She's always there for us in good times and in bad. She somehow managed to run a company, be our school homeroom mother, to chaperone us, and to bring us our gym shoes and lunches every time we forgot them. I can say that I never heard her complain about her duties as a mother. She's always there with a smile and encouraging words. She has instilled within us the values of compassion, understanding, and empathy. She has an innate desire to help people and to get involved. She always stresses the importance of giving 100% of ourselves to others. It is what we do for others that is the most important mark of our lives. She always tells us that we have no right to complain unless we get involved, and that is the standard which has been set and the standard that we try to follow. My mother also doubles as my best friend. To many people's surprise, my mother is the person whom I tell everything. She listens, does not judge, and always gives good advice. For those of you who've not fully listened to your mother, you know it always turns out just the way she said it would. My mother is also a businesswoman. I see how she struggles, a woman in business, but I'm filled with awe and pride at what she has accomplished. I see her as a role model, a woman who has managed to do it all without without compromising that which is most important to her. I can only hope that one day I too will have a child who is filled with as much love and admiration. It's my honor to present this Imani Award to my mother.
She listened to me. I told her if she says anything funny, she would have to answer to me tonight. I guess I raised her well. I just want to say that I'm really honored to receive this award from this distinguished organization. And I'm very committed to the city of Detroit. I've had a business for this past 17 years in Detroit. My kids, I would like to introduce Edmar and Jinan. My three kids, they all go to Wayne State University. And there's a special person here in my life also, my mom. She was able to attend today too. Thank you very much, and I will treasure it. Thank you.
Our next person is an awardee, our first awardee, who is a great friend and someone this city I just love. And that is, used to be the chief judge of 36th District Court, Adam Sakura. And then he became deputy mayor for the city of Detroit. Would you please come up, Judge Sakura?
Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very honored to have the privilege of presenting an award that I hold in a very high esteem, the Imani Award, to a man who I also hold in the highest esteem, Imam W.D. Muhammad. Imam Muhammad could not be with us this evening, and accepting on his behalf is the editor of the Muslim Journal, Miss Aisha Mustafa. But before calling Miss Mustafa forward, let me just say that I believe if Imam Muhammad were here, he would first congratulate all of the awardees. I think by the revelations that were presented to many of you about their lives, about their history, and about what they're doing to encourage others, he would be certainly impressed and would give honor to them for their lives. Imam Muhammad is a man of great faith, a man of great courage, a man of great leadership. Yet he is a very humble human being. He has had the opportunity to travel the world. I've had the privilege of accompanying him on 2 occasions, in 1977 and again in 1990 to Saudi Arabia. And seeing him amongst world leaders and seeing the honor and the esteem and the great accolades that they bestow upon him. It was indeed a very rare privilege to see an African American, one whose father was from the plains of the red clay country of Georgia, to rise to such world leadership. It's very difficult to describe him. It's perhaps outlined somewhat in the book. But I'd like to, certainly you're going to have the chance of having the videotape shown, but I'd like to just have you read a portion of the prayer that he gave before the United States Senate in 1992 to tell you something about this man. He offered this prayer before the United States Senate. Our Creator, the merciful benefactor, the merciful Redeemer, who opens for all people a way to have good conscience and a good life. Grant to this nation that Americans continue to live as a prosperous nation of many in one, and as a people of faith, taking pride in human decency, industry, and service. Let us pray that this great nation's 2 centuries of national life may inspire other nations to move toward social and economic justice for all. Grant that her big heart for charity, compassion, repentance, and mercy continue to beat strongly within all of us. Grant that Americans always have more hope than troubles and ever grow in goodness and in wisdom. Bless Americans to always cherish our freedom and the noble essence of the American people. Grant that we Americans understand better our brothers and sisters around the world and reject unsuitable national pride for a global community of brotherhood and peace. Bring all citizens and government together, those of great means and small means, to appreciate more our nation's solemn pledge of liberty, peace, and justice for all. Bless our homes and our schools. Bless the parents, our troubled youth, our burdened inner cities to never be without hope or direction. Bless Americans to keep to the best of our ways. Bless Americans to cherish more the pride of industry. Bless the efforts of the President and all other efforts in progress for more jobs and more opportunity to be in this great society for more of us. Bless matrimony and families here and in all the world. Increase for the President of the United States, for every member of the Senate, and for every member of the House of Representatives, the excellence of man's spirit and the excellence of the intellect and the statesman, so that they may build a better America for us all. Amen. I think that outlines to you this man, my leader, and a leader who we refer to as the Muslim American spokesman for human salvation, Imam Warfdi Muhammad. Before you turn that on, let me have Sister Mustafa please step forward and accept on behalf of Imam Warfdi Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. It is indeed a great honor to represent Imam W.D. Muhammad. It is a blessing for me to be in his association because there are so many other camps that we could have fallen into, but I think it's Allah's mercy that we are with this camp. And about that flag thing, we just want to bring to your attention the program where we have Imam W.D. Muhammad's picture on it, and I'm sure they didn't just print this in the last couple of days. That's quite a couple of years old picture, but in the background is the U.S. flag. Imam Muhammad told us in about 1975 that we should see our citizenship in this country as the greatest resource we have on our behalf, to remember our foreparents and remember those who invested in this country on our behalf, and that we not belittle their investment. He reminded us to remember those in the struggle, not only Frederick Douglass and W.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, but he pointed out also remember John Brown and the others who fought for your rights and for your freedom in this country, and that good comes in all colors. I was blessed to be at the Senate when he gave that prayer. I too have been blessed to travel with him overseas and to see the respect that an African American from our association has been given by world leaders. And I thank Allah that we have a leader also who's given an open door to the women in this community to express themselves and to participate, and we love him dearly, and thank you.
We're going to ask the musicians to come out and play some music. We would like for you to enjoy yourself, relax a little longer with us. Enjoy this night. Thank you very much.
Are the things you wish were holding true? Or when you feel your life's in need of something new, you can think where you are. You can reach that shining star at the rainbow's end. And be sure all alone, it's up to you. You don't need anyone to sing your song. It won't be long before your dreams start coming true. You're surprised even